A quiet canal, a row of ordinary-looking little houses along the water. Front porches, big windows, garden pots out front. Completely normal. Except none of them are sitting on land. When the water rises, every single one of those houses rises with it. When it falls, they settle right back down. No flooding, no sandbags, no panic. Just a house, floating on water, exactly as it was designed to. This isn't a houseboat gimmick or a tourist attraction. It's a real, functioning way of life for thousands of people right now. From a converted pontoon boat that went viral this month, to an entire floating neighborhood in Amsterdam, to $2 million floating villas in Dubai. And by the end of this video, you're gonna see all of it. The real homes, the real price tags, and the real reason some people think this is where housing is headed next. Stick around, because the last example I'm showing you is a floating villa with an entire bedroom underwater. Before we head out on the water, subscribe and hit that notification bell right now, because this channel is where serious tiny home content lives, and today's video goes deeper than anything we've done before. Stay with me all the way to the end. Let's float. Let's clear something up first, because people mix up two very different things: houseboats and floating homes. A houseboat is basically a boat you live in. It has a hull, an engine, and it's built to move under its own power. A floating home is different. It sits on a buoyant, watertight foundation, usually a massive concrete or foam-filled pontoon, but it isn't designed to drive anywhere. It's moored permanently to a dock, connected to utilities through flexible pipes and cables, and functionally, it behaves like a regular house that just happens to be parked on water instead of dirt. And then there's a newer category that's getting serious attention right now: amphibious homes. These are built to sit on normal ground most of the time, but when flood water rises underneath them, buoyant chambers built into the foundation lift the entire structure up, guided by vertical posts. So the house essentially floats in place during a flood and lowers itself back down once the water recedes. It's not science fiction. This technology already exists and is being tested specifically as a climate adaptation strategy in flood-prone regions. The engineering across all of these styles comes down to the same basic principle: displacement. A concrete pontoon filled with foam, or a sealed hollow hull, displaces enough water to support the full weight of a house. Framing, appliances, furniture, people, everything, while keeping the living space itself completely dry and stable above the waterline. So why would anyone choose to live on water instead of land? A few real reasons keep coming up. Reason 1, climate adaptation. This is the big one driving serious investment right now. The Netherlands is a useful example. Roughly a third of the country sits below sea level, and combined with a nationwide housing shortage, floating construction has become a genuinely practical answer rather than a novelty. A floating house doesn't fight rising water, it simply moves with it. Reason 2, unlocking unused space. In dense cities where land is scarce and expensive, water surface is often sitting right there, and used. Building on it, legally and safely, effectively creates new housing inventory in places that have run out of room to build outward. Reason 3, energy performance and self-sufficiency. A lot of modern floating home projects are getting paired with solar panels, heat pumps that draw warmth directly from the water below the house, and closed-loop water and waste systems. Because when you're off standard city infrastructure anyway, going further off-grid often isn't a huge additional leap. Reason 4, lifestyle. Plenty of people just want to wake up next to open water, watch boats go by from their living room, and live somewhere that feels genuinely different from standard subdivision, without giving up hot water, a real kitchen, or central heating. Reason 5, and this one's more recent: disaster resilience for flood zones specifically. Unlike a conventional house, a floating or amphibious structure isn't destroyed by a flood. It's designed to expect one. For coastal or riverside communities facing more frequent flooding, some architects and city planners now argue this isn't a lifestyle choice at all. It's basic infrastructure planning for the next several decades. Let's start with a story that's genuinely happening as I record this video, because it shows the messy, human side of building a floating home, not just the polished architecture magazine version. Two friends in their early 20s, Jake Doggett and James Little, bought a rotting 24-foot pontoon boat off Facebook Marketplace for $4,000. The seller told them the pontoons had been professionally repaired. They believed him. They planned to build a small houseboat together over 3 or 4 months for about $10,000 total and grow old on it. It did not go that way. From day one, they had a serious weight problem. The original pontoons could only safely float about 5,000 pounds, but their design ended up weighing roughly 9,000. So they bought more pontoons, then more again. They bought a new trailer just to support the thing during construction. They spent money on stainless steel hardware to survive salt water long term. Doggett sold his truck and his motorcycle just to keep the project funded. What was supposed to take 4 months and $10,000 ended up taking 14 months and around $40,000. And the payoff is genuinely impressive. Inside just 100 square feet, they fit a full shower, an oven, a sink, a fridge and freezer, and a seating area with a table that folds down into a bed. The whole thing powered by solar panels. It's now moored in Essex Bay, Massachusetts, has become something of a local tourist attraction, and is currently listed for sale at $140,000 because one of the two friends took a job out of state. It's a perfect, honest example of what building a floating home from scratch actually looks like for a regular person. Harder, longer, and more expensive than planned, but genuinely doable. Now let's zoom out from one boat to an entire community, because this next example is one of the most ambitious floating housing projects on Earth, and it's already finished and fully lived in. It's called Schoonschip in Amsterdam, and the story behind it started in 2008 when a Dutch TV director named Marjan de Blok made a documentary about a floating home and fell in love with the idea. She reached out to friends. Interest exploded far beyond what she expected, and what began as a small group idea eventually grew into a fully realized neighborhood. 46 households, spread across 30 water plots, connected by a shared jetty, sitting on the Johan van Hassel Canal in Amsterdam. The numbers here are genuinely impressive. The community runs on 516 solar panels, 30 heat pumps that draw warmth directly from the canal water beneath the homes, and a shared smart grid that lets neighbors sell surplus electricity to each other and to the city using blockchain-based energy trading. Wastewater is separated into gray water and black water, with the black water eventually processed into energy through a digester. A third of every rooftop is planted as a garden, and residents grow a meaningful share of their own fruit and vegetables using nutrients recovered from their own waste system. Construction finished in 2020, and today it's home to more than 140 residents, including around 40 children. Each household hired its own architect, which is why the neighborhood looks architecturally diverse rather than like a row of identical units. But every home shares the same underlying commitment to sustainability and circular design. The project has become such a well-known case study that Prince Harry, European lawmakers, and urban planners from around the world have all visited to see in person. What makes Schoonschip important isn't just that it's charming, it's that it works as actual infrastructure. City planners studying it point out that floating neighborhoods can save municipalities enormous money on flood damage, because instead of fighting rising water with pumps and barriers, the homes simply rise with it and settle back down once water levels drop. Now let's go to the complete opposite end of the price spectrum, because floating architecture isn't just a scrappy DIY project or a modest eco-community. It's also become a serious luxury real estate category. In Dubai, the Dutch architecture firm Waterstudio NL signed an agreement with a local developer to build 400 two-story floating villas along the Dubai Water Canal, each equipped with solar panels and gray water recycling systems, in a project valued at roughly $320 million. And in the same emirate, a company called Kleindienst Group has already built something even more extreme: the floating seahorse villas, 3-level homes moored over an artificial coral reef, where the bottom level is entirely underwater, giving residents a bedroom or lounge with a panoramic underwater view of marine life right outside the glass. These sell for approximately $2.7 million each. Meanwhile, in Venice, at the 2026 Venice Boat Show, an Italian studio unveiled a 12-meter luxury houseboat they called a floating suite. A king-size bedroom, a marble bathroom with a skylight, a sliding glass wall that opens the entire living area to the outside, and a rooftop deck, all built specifically for slow, contemplative travel along lakes and rivers. And this isn't a fringe market anymore. Industry analysts at Verified Market Reports estimate the global houseboat segment alone will approach $1.12 billion in value this year, growing at roughly 6% annually. And that's before counting the broader floating homes category, which includes permanent residences like Schoonschip and hospitality projects like overwater villas in the Maldives, where nightly rates range from a few $100s to more than $7,000 at the most exclusive properties. Now, because this channel doesn't sugarcoat things, let's talk about what actually makes floating homes difficult, because every example we've covered points to the same handful of real challenges. Weight and buoyancy math is unforgiving. As we saw with the Essex Bay pontoon project, underestimating the load your foundation needs to support isn't a small mistake. It can mean the difference between a floating home and a sinking one. Every material choice, every appliance, every piece of furniture adds real weight that has to be accounted for against your platform's buoyancy limit. Mooring, permitting, and dock fees add up fast. Unlike land, you generally don't own the water your home sits on. You lease a mooring spot, pay ongoing dock or marina fees, and depending on the country or city, need specific permits just to legally live there long term. In places like Amsterdam, entire regulatory frameworks had to be built specifically to allow projects like Schoonschip to exist. Maintenance is a different job entirely. Hulls and pontoons need regular inspection for corrosion, especially in saltwater. Utility connections have to flex with water movement instead of staying rigid like they would on land. And in colder climates, ice can be a genuine structural threat to a floating foundation if it isn't specifically engineered for it. Financing is harder to come by. Traditional mortgage lenders are often unfamiliar with floating home ownership structures, since you typically own the structure itself, but only lease the water plot beneath it, which changes how banks assess the loan compared to a normal piece of real estate. And it's genuinely not for everyone temperamentally. Motion, close quarters living, shared jetties or docks, and the reality of depending on a boat-style utility setup instead of a standard municipal hookup all require a certain mindset. The people who thrive at places like Schoonschip talk about it as a deliberate lifestyle choice and a community commitment, not simply a cheaper or novelty way to own a home. So is floating housing a real solution for the future, or just a fascinating niche for people drawn to water and adventure? Based on everything we just covered, it looks like both, and increasingly, more of the former. Two friends in Massachusetts who sold a truck and a motorcycle to finish a pontoon boat home. For 144 residents in Amsterdam, running an entire circular neighborhood off solar power and canal-sourced heat. And for a family in Dubai falling asleep next to an underwater coral reef. Floating homes are solving a real, specific problem in each case. More usable space in crowded cities. Genuine resilience against rising water. Or simply, a different, more connected way to live. But in every single example, the honest through line is the same. This only works with serious engineering, real regulatory groundwork, and a level of ongoing maintenance that a normal house on solid ground never has to think about. Either way, next time you're standing at the edge of a harbor, a canal, or a quiet lake, take a second look at the houses along the shoreline. A few of them might not be resting on the ground at all. If this taught you something new today, subscribe. We cover homes like this every week, and you won't want to miss the next one. And I'm curious, after seeing the real costs, the permitting headaches, and the maintenance realities, would you actually live on water full time? Or does dry land, solid ground, and a normal mortgage still win for you? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. See you in the next video.